Yo guys, and welcome back to a new video. As you can see, I've changed my location a little bit. Still looking a little bit bare bones, just like the blue squad at the minute, but we're on our way to rebuilding it, just like Lee Bowyer is going to do this transfer window. It's all about positivity. That's what we're about, aren't we? If you're feeling positive now. If you don't laugh, you'll cry, won't you? So today we're just going to give a little preview to the Plymouth game. We're going to talk about some of the transfers that have come in and some of the news around a few of our players. I am a little bit cold. I could do with a coat. Anyone got a coat? Before we get into the video, I just want to give a big shout out to Sky Bet EFL League of 72 channel. You need to go and check it out. League of 72 is a newly launched channel by Sky Bet EFL. They create weekly EFL content covering the whole 72 from Bournemouth to Barrow. They're still a fairly new channel and have only been around since August, but they're hoping to grow and build a community of highly engaged EFL fans over the next few months. So if you do want to check them out, make sure you click the link down in the description and subscribe to them. I'm pretty sure if you like my content, you'll like theirs as well, so go and check them out. They've got James Alcott featuring in a lot of their content, and I can't speak highly enough of him. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So let's start off with the bad news, and it always seems to be bad news at the minute with Blues in terms of injuries, especially. And Sarkic, he's out for the season. He's going back to Wolverhampton. Such a shame to see. How did he get injured, you ask? The typical Birmingham way. He threw a ball and he dislocated his shoulder. Yeah, we can't get any luck at the minute, can we? We've had Chong get injured. Obviously, Riley's gone back. That's not exactly an injury. We've just had so many injuries this season. It's ridiculous. And it's such a shame to see as well. Like, I mean, with the likes of Chong as well, you know, Sarkic, two of our best loan players. The only loan player remaining, I think, that is fit and ready to play is Castillo. And if we're judging him off the performance against QPR, let's be honest, probably still not going to get in the team after that. So it's not looking good. So in terms of Sarkic, of course, we've lost the keeper. Bowyer was asked in his press conference whether we were going to get another one. He said in the loan market, he only wants to be getting outfield players at the minute, and this is what he's got to deal with, which is understandable. So we're going to recall Zach Geacock. The only positive is that we know that Neil Etheridge is a very capable keeper. We've had two keepers at the minute that are really, really capable, solid keepers. I know Sarkic has been amazing this season, but hopefully Etheridge can recapture some of the form he had last season. So it's not the end of the world for me in that, you know, isolated instance, but still disappointing. Of course, as well, another one, Dion Sanderson was on his way out. It was announced shortly before the QPR game, and we were just thinking, not another one. Another one. Come on. I mean, it doesn't even surprise you anymore with Blues, does it? But, you know, he was playing well. They've got the African Cup of Nations, so they needed a few more numbers, I think, and in which case they recalled Dion Sanderson. So, you know, fair play. I hope he gets some game time. Hope he gets a chance, really, because he's been playing really well for us. The one thing I must say, which is a real positive, is the fact that we've got Teden Mengi in so quickly. You know, highly rated by Man U fans. Really decent player from the looks of it. I saw him and I was like, I've not heard of him. Had a quick Google. I looked on FIFA. He's got good potential. Must be a good player. That is my level of scouting at the minute. However, just because I don't have the analytical knowledge doesn't mean you don't have to. We're going to take a look at Blues Breakdown. It's a Twitter account. Does some amazing, amazing work in terms of stats and helps me, a simpleton that doesn't really know anything about football, get some information. So he's done a really good breakdown, as you could expect, on Teden Mengi, and we'll have a look here. It was on loan second half of last season at Derby, and these are the stats we've got for him. 19 years old, still very young, but the one thing with young players, which I do think is sort of shining through with some of our academy players and making them maybe look better than they are just in comparison, is, you know, they've got drive, they've got passion. I sounded like I was about to spit the rock bars then, but no. So yeah, for Derby, he had 9 appearances, 7 starts, and only 1 booking. Yeah, he seems like a decent passer of the ball. Defensive duels per 90, gets stuck into them, but is that just because it's Derby? Will Brazier was telling me as well, he's got a mate, Man U fan, he says, you know, play with a lot of potential, didn't really get the loan move at the right time for him, sort of stagnated a little bit, but that's about that. I think he'll be a decent addition for us, you know, probably a similar level to Sanderson, but you know, I think it's going to be a case of let's see him play. Hopefully he gets some game time against Plymouth just to get his match fitness up and running. So yeah, we've got our centre back now, and it did look like Chong had an assist left in him after all, even injured. He is impeccable. Also, it looks like we've actually got some money to spend now. Like, obviously not the big Harry Redknapp bucks, but Bowyer was talking a lot about the fact that the board didn't have money, he wasn't aware of this situation, and he was clearly frustrated with it as he was talking about it in the media so openly. But it seems now, like, whether that's part of it, maybe because he's been so open with it, I'm not sure, or maybe because of the injuries, but apparently we've got money not just to get back to the level that we were in terms of replacing injured players, the loans that we've lost, McGree, etc., but actually even potentially strengthening the squad. So that's one to look out for. I just hope the money is spent in the right way. Also, Brighton midfielder Taylor Richards looks set to join Birmingham City on loan, which is another one. I don't know if that's... It looks like it's going to be a McGree replacement. So again, good to see us making some early moves in the transfer window with this. The sooner we can get players in, the better, because our squad's looking so thin at the minute. Like, the amount of kids we had on our bench and in our matchday squad at the minute, like, yeah, it's great for them, but the fact we've had to force that, and it's out of necessity rather than, you know, the other way around, it's difficult for us, and it maybe is putting a little bit too much pressure on those players. So yeah, it'd be good to get a few more additions in, just so we've actually got a fully fit first team squad with maybe a couple of the young kids just around that, you know, on the bench and stuff like that. So again, Blues breakdown here. They said he had an excellent loan at Doncaster last season. Excited to see how he goes next. Creative stats and his attacking stats look really impressive though. 0.54 key passes per 90, 72% accurate passes to final third. It's all looking green, and in my brain, green is good. That's how I'm reading these stats. I think you know, it's a case again of just seeing how he goes, but he seems highly regarded as well, and I'm just happy to have someone in. You know, hopefully it's not another Castillo. So that would be 2 players sorted. I would like to see us get a striker, to be honest, someone similar to Hogan in a sense. And I know we've got a lot of strikers at the minute, and maybe we'll need to offload one before we bring another one in. We've either got Cosgrove still out on loan, who's 5th choice striker at Shrewsbury. They don't really like him, so it's not great. Got a bit of dead wood we need to get rid of. So who is on the way out? Harley Dean looks the prime candidate. I've heard whispers of people saying Bella and Sunjic to get them off the wage bill. Would be upsetting. However, you know, I'm not sure what wages these are on, and if they're really on quite a lot more than the others, you know, and you can sell 2 players and get 3 at a similar level, then fair enough. But it's just frustrating for me, because it seems like we take 1 step forward and then 2 steps back a lot of the time. But as long as we're managing the books well and we're not going to get into FFP problems again, then I guess it's okay. We have to take the L and slowly rebuild this squad. And, you know, if we can bring in a couple of permanent signings as well as these loans, that would be ideal, because, you know, we keep falling in love with loan players, don't we? Most of them anyway. And they just end up going back and breaking our hearts. Riley, come back, man. But yeah, it looks like Harley Dean's going to go. The question is, if his one is a wage problem, as well as other things, I imagine, but if he's on a decent wage, is he gonna, you know, take a pay cut to go somewhere else? There's rumours of QPR being interested in him. They could probably pay his wages, but again, you know, in terms of a free transfer, it could work out, but gonna have to see. Otherwise, you know, if he doesn't go, it could be a Gareth Bale case of him, you know, just playing golf and sitting on the sidelines for a bit, but it is what it is. I must say about Dean, I do feel like, yes, he's had his bad moments and stuff, and like, I do feel like Blues always have a scapegoat. You know, I don't necessarily think Dean is the best player in the world, nor do I think he's got the best attitude, really. But I think when you're criticising a player, just when they're doing their own family things, like he was throwing his coats out earlier. I know I made a joke about it earlier. It was a joke though, but throwing your coats out and you're getting stick all over, like, oh, I can't believe this. It's like the smallest thing that you can bite onto, you'll have a go at him for. And I think you've got to remember with these players is, at the end of the day, they're human beings. So, you know what I mean? Like, let's leave it. Like, if you want the sidelines, if you're in the stands, they're playing football, you want to have a go at them because he's, you know, whatever, he's had a bad game. Fair enough. You know, whatever, you've paid your ticket, but, you know, let him enjoy his home time, his family life. I get it, they're privileged people, they're footballers, but still, just like, I think he gets too much stick, is basically what I'm saying. You know, we've had some good moments with him, so if he does find somewhere else, then all the best to him. He was the captain, so I guess when you run out of players to scapegoat, you're going to go for that person, and he did seem to have a sort of attitude about him, and it seemed like whenever the manager, you know, it's like when him and the players decided they didn't like the manager, they're all down tools. But I don't think that's purely just Dean. I think that's the entire squad. I think they all have to take accountability for that when they did it, not just one player. So that's something that they've all done, and it's clear to see. Maybe 1 or 2 didn't, but mate, our whole squad at times just completely down tools. So, you know, I don't know. When he goes, who's going to be the next scapegoat? There's always one. There's always one. We're going to have to see. But that's just my 2 cents on it. It's just my opinion. But on to Plymouth. You look at Plymouth and you're like, oh, you know, you'll probably play some of the kids, you know, in the FA Cup game, you know. But at the minute, we have no choice. We're playing the kids in our first team. So are there going to be that many changes? I think we've got a few players who need to get game time, get minutes. You've got Gardner, you know, who's been out for quite a while with suspension and COVID and all that. He ended up being out for 4 to 6 weeks, I think. He played against QPR. I still think he just needs to get his match fitness up a little bit. So that'll be a good opportunity for him. One player I do want to see start against Plymouth is Chukwuemeka. Really good for him getting that goal against QPR. You could see like he was just a player that needed a goal. The way he hit that ball was Deeney-esque. It really was. He just absolutely hammered it. And I thought initially when I saw him loading up, slow motion, I was like, that's going into Rose Head. But absolute bullet into the back of the net. And I think it's more than deserved for him. So it's good to see. He's not had a lot, you know, he's had scraps. He started against Blackburn. He hit the crossbar from quite a way out. He does look like he's got a little something about him, and I don't want to judge him too soon. I think I've definitely been guilty of writing him off, almost. Not fully writing him off, but being like, you know, he'll come on and I'm like, oh, go on, mate. But because he's a bit slow and he doesn't seem to be doing much and he doesn't fit in the system too much, you're like, you don't know, you really want to just get the ball on his head, don't you, and get him to knock it in. But you've seen he's all right with his feet. He's done a few neat little turns and stuff like that. So I think give him a bit of confidence, play him against Plymouth, hopefully he bags, and then he's on a run, isn't he? And then we'll sell him at the end of January. Again, I think George Hall had a really good game against QPR, just in terms of his energy and stuff. So I'd like to see a bit more of him. But ultimately, does Bowyer care about the cup? No, I don't really think so, especially with this lack of a squad that we've got. It's going to be one where if we win it, fair play, but he's not going to be too bothered about it. I'd like to see us go through because you never know who we're going to get. You know, we might have a decent away day against a huge side. Like, we'll have to see. Hopefully we can get through because I just love a cup draw as well. Saying that, comment below who you want us to get in the next round if we do get through. I know none of the games have been played yet, but hypothetically, yeah. One more thing as well, Jobe Bellingham, could he be playing against Plymouth? Bowyer says it's a possibility. Personally, I feel like he might be benched and then maybe brought on for like 20 minutes for his debut. So we're going to have to see. It would be really good to see him play, but again, there's a lot of pressure on him, isn't there? Because his brother's done absolutely amazing. Gone to Borussia Dortmund, done absolute bits. Played with England at the Euros. Like, he's done everything, and now you've got him here. Like, oh, for God's sake. The bar's set pretty high now. So please, if he does come up, just take your time with him. Don't set the expectations too high. I mean, if he can just become, you know, even the level of Ryan Woods or something, brilliant. He's a player. You know what I mean? But we're going to have to see. It'd be good to see him get some game time. Definitely before he's off to Dortmund with his brother. So we'll see what happens. But that will be that for today's video. Probably a little bit rambly from me today, but I just really wanted to make one and just talk about, you know, there's been a lot of things going on at the minute and I just wanted to make a video. I've only just got internet today, so it's been good to make a video and it feels nice here, like a new setup and stuff. So going to be streaming more. Podcasts will keep coming out. We've got a new podcast just released today. So go and check it out. Tired and Weary Pod, Spotify, Apple Music. But yeah, that'll be it from me. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep right on.